How to boost your credit with the car. Must see. And more so listen, because you got to understand that a lot of times people overcomplicate credit. And it's more than one way to build your credit, because credit consists of multiple factors. What up? You got Mr. Smith, point five of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And in this brief video, I want to talk to you about how to boost your credit using a car. I was talking to one of my clients recently. Well, actually two different clients, and one of them was asking should they go about refinancing their car, and another one had to buy a car. They were in a position where they needed to buy a car, and they was just like, okay, should I buy this car or wait until my credit is boosted in order to then buy the car at a better rate? Now, in this person's scenario, they actually had a car. They were just trying to get a new one, and in that case, it made sense for them to wait so they can get a better rate of the car, because the car that they were about to get was going to be a horrible rate based on their credit, based on other circumstances. So I wanted them to get cleaned up before they actually made their purchase. Otherwise, that person or that dealership would have been capitalizing off their lower credit score and giving them something that would have had their interest rate sky high and made them, way upside down on their car. But in the typical realm, when a person is trying to apply for a car, a couple of things happen. Sometimes they don't want to apply because they know that, to hit their credit from a standpoint of inquiry. And many dealerships do too many inquiries. So in other words, they excessively run your credit in order to get you to qualify. So if you didn't watch one of my other videos where I talked about the best way to go about doing it to minimizing the inquiries, then I highly recommend it. And basically, it was just telling about how if you went directly through a bank and applied for a particular amount, that only will give you one inquiry, and now you can go into a dealership, and instead of them having to run your credit, you go in there with a check because you've already been approved directly through a bank. However, if you do go ahead and go through a dealership, just, see if you can have them to run your credit at a very minimal, so it'll minimize the inquiries. Now, how can they go about boosting your credit? You see, when you buy a car, what it does is open up another trade line. You see, a lot of times people say trade line, buy a trade line. A trade line, truth be told, is really just another relationship that you have with another entity that reports to your credit. So that could be a credit card, that could be a personal loan, that could be a car loan, that could be a mortgage. That can be some of these separate new accounts that are created to help you establish credit. And they may set up an account that allows you to build your credit, and they use different instruments and products, and loans are typically some of the products that they use, or they may use, a COD or CD, within a bank. So it's different things that they do, but all of those that are reporting to your credit report, even things like when you get written reporting, it's opening up a new trade line. So that's first and foremost. So when you buy a car, it's opening up a new trade line. So once you understand that, then you see, okay, if this is a new trade line, then I need to treat it with care. So now that you have this new established trade line, a couple of things are working to your benefit as you're treating this trade line with care. Every time you make a payment, of course, it's benefiting your credit because you're doing on-time payments. So it helps in the area of payment history. Payment history is 35% of your score, 192.5 points. So good payment history paying towards a car is great. But what also happens when you're paying down your car, it helps in the area of amounts owed. A lot of times we talk about credit utilization, about lowering that utilization, getting it low. But when you're paying the car down, that helps in the amounts owed, which is also kind of known as the debt to income ratio, or just the overall debt that you have on your report going down. So as that amount diminishes and that payment history grows, that also heightens and helps your score. So you definitely want to stay in good standings with that. And if you're a person who likes to get a new car every so often, it looks great so that the next time you buy a car, even though you may not have paid that one off, you at least have a track record for making sure you're going to do your part and handle that trade line with care, as I discussed. And that will help your credit go up tremendously just by making a good payment history and lowering your amounts owed. And if you decide that you want to keep the car and you pay it off in full, that helps drastically as well. When I had 800 plus credit score before we bought our house, and it dropped it a little bit due to certain things, or what else, still in the sevens, high 700s and etc. But when I had the 800s, I had already had one, if not two, paid off cars on my credit. So that's just something to think about. So paying off a car shows proof of credibility as well. So it helps boost your score, and can position you to be in those 800s like it did me. So hopefully this helps. I hope this makes sense. If you need assistance, make sure you set up a consultation if you would like assistance, or if you just want to check out our free credit class, it should be available below. You can get a free credit class so you can get an understanding of how credit works. Then from there, if you determine that you want to move forward with assistance or move forward and learn to do it yourself, that option should be available for you as well. That's all I got for this brief video. Mr. Smith, signing out.